Hello, potion makers, it's me again. I hope you're ready, because today we have stuff to do in the ways of alchemy. I spent about half a day just resource grinding on the forest map. And thanks to that, I have a whole bunch of resources, which naturally meant that I went to town on the mortar and the alembic. So now I also have a bunch of distilled reagents. Plus, I brewed all the potions that we're going to need today. And since I have everything ready, I thought that maybe it would be nice to go over everything that we know at this point of the game, as a way to sort of solidify our knowledge of the basics, if it's okay with you. So, in no particular order, quests. You get one quest every time the Inquisitor visits and doesn't find anything incriminating on you. You can only have one of these at a time, and you see, I already brewed all the potions that we need for this one. So we're gonna send our alchemist to tastefully put this in a box. And here we have a completed order. So the next time the Inquisitor arrives, we're going to be able to give this to him. And he's gonna give us payment and leave. And now that I think about it, that is actually something you can exploit. If you have some criminal activity that you want to delay the Inquisitor for, since giving this order to him actually makes him go home early and not do the whole inspection. That's something to note. Another thing to note is that I actually grabbed all the compost we could find. I was right the first time. There are actually 4 levels. I was just confused about the level 5 on the card, since the strength goes 1, 2, 3 and 5. But that actually looks deliberate, because if you look at the knowledge cards, those also go 1, 2, 3 and 5. Next up, books. You get books by visiting the unique locations that you gain from these maps, and these contain recipes and new blueprints. And at the very end of it, map to the next area, you need a library to open them. And they require some sort of study cost. With the lower levels, 1 bronze was enough, but with this one being level 5 in song, we're gonna actually need something bigger. That is a silver, but as the tutorial said, and we just couldn't see it with the base level books, you can put 1 potion here, and if it matches the attribute of the book, you're going to get a reduction in cost. And I happen to have this strong connective potion put away here. It has a level 4 in song, which is not quite enough to completely negate this, but maybe it's gonna be enough for the cost. And turns out it is. Alright, I have a buyer waiting here for something that I am growing, so let's talk about money a little bit. Obviously, you can get money by giving the buyers what they want. And then you get money, usually bronze, and one of these knowledge cards. It's usually a gossip, but bigger orders sometimes give you rumors. If you're in very dire need of money, you can also send someone to the pharmacy and send a few bottles of potion to sell. But I found that no matter what you put in here, you will always only get a single bronze for each of them. So since you can churn out a whole lot of coagulation potions at minimal cost, if you just need bronze very quickly, that is one way to do it. Another much slower way is to send someone to the market with a potion, but that starts a whole 2-minute cooldown, and all it does is give you the actual value of the potion. So unless you have something that is very valuable, like 5 or 6, I don't think you should be using this option, but it is there. Next up, gardening. You have all manner of seeds. You can buy turnips and hams straight from the market, but all the others you need to find during expeditions. So it's worth noting which area contains what. And all you gotta do is go to the garden patch, give a worker there and a bag of seeds, and most of these have actually multiple requirements. You can click on the bag and the description tells you what they need. For example, the salvia needs a fertilizer and some material, but as you can see, it also accepts certain weather cards. Okay, so my point is, every plant has its preferred season to be planted in. You can keep that in mind, or you can just plant them and supply whatever they need as extra. Oh hey, the Inquisitor is finally here, while the game has no indicator for when he's about to arrive. I tried to look at the time, and it appears that there is roughly 36 hours between each visit. That's a day and a half if you're American. And so we graciously have a few seconds to deal with him in one way or another, which is the time that we can use to actually give our completed order. Look at that. Even heretics like you can be of use to the crown. You will be granted some exculpation next time I catch you red-handed, and I do not doubt I will. It is a great reward on its own, but our annoyingly kind king insists we pay our contractors with gold, so here is your money. Okay, let's see how much we got. Oh, 2 silver and 3 bronze. And the story. That's very nice. And now, the next time he appears, and if we don't give him anything incriminating, he's gonna leave us another quest that we can do much the same way. Okay, and it seems that in the meantime, we managed to finish opening this book. Let's see what we got. We have a recipe for a river in a bottle, and it requires ground ginseng, Heracleum blossom concentrate, and corpse liquids. And this is a level 2 recipe. Interesting. I have a feeling we're gonna need to upgrade our pot for that. We also found a potion of mystical power. It requires a lizard corpse, something called hallucinogenic paste, and liquid amber. We also have a schematic for a stone mortar, which it appears to be an upgrade for the wooden mortar. Nice. Needs a wooden mortar, 1 pain potion, and quality materials. And it is also a level 2 recipe. And I have a feeling that we're not gonna be able to do that with our level 1 crafting station. And indeed we cannot. We're gonna need to upgrade this, which I suppose is another blueprint that we're gonna find in one of these maps. Okay, and it looks like everyone's finished their assigned work, so I guess we're gonna talk about hirelings next. You get them, obviously, for money from the Adventurers Guild, and they arrive with, I think, randomized types and amounts of aspects, and they have a hireling timer. Once this runs out, they're going to demand additional payment, and if you choose to pay that, you're gonna keep them around for a little more, and if not, they're going to go home. Now, as you can see, I have hired another one since the last time, and it is not like the other. And indeed, as you do these expeditions successfully, you're gaining adventurer's reputation. And as it rises, you're unlocking the ability to pay more money and receive higher grade of hirelings in exchange. For example, our basic adventurer started with level 2 in Pain and 1 in Void. The mirror he's getting from the equipment that I gave him, and the veil he actually got from Scars. The way Scars work, and it also ties into expeditions as a whole, and it is one quality that I didn't really understand at first, at least from the tutorial, is that here on the main expedition screen, it tells you the pillars that are going to be challenged, and there's also an adventure quality here. And the tutorial says that the adventurer quality decides the level of the pillars that you need to reach with your adventurer in order to be successful. And since I am not very mathematically inclined, I fail to realize that having this adventure quality also naturally puts it at level 1. That became apparent when I get this one, because this one has a level 3 adventure. And I don't think I'm going to dredge up that tutorial text. But it does say that if you have, with your adventurer, twice the level in aspects than the expedition, that you automatically succeed. So with forest expeditions, it being level 1 means that as long as your adventurer has level 2 in Pain or Veil, then they are perfectly good to go, which is actually what got me to scar this adventurer a little bit, because the way scarring works, if your adventurer fails one of the challenges, they gain a wound, and you do have a little window of time where you can toss them some healing potions, and then it would probably result in them not getting a scar. Haven't tried that, so I cannot actually say for certain, but logically that's what it sounds like. And if you don't read them, then they gain a scar, and each scar increases by 1 the aspect which the challenge had that they failed, so they are slightly better equipped to try it again. And that is why I gave this adventurer 2 Veil scars. So with 2 Pain and 2 Veil, they are an unstoppable forest clearing machine. Now with these heal adventures, because this is level 3, ideally I would want to reach level 6 with whoever I'm sending. So at this point, the basic adventurer just isn't cutting it anymore. So I think I'm just going to wait out his timer and let him go home. That would also give me back the equipment, so I'm okay with that. And you can see on this other guy, he's a peasant. He does come with a more varied amount of aspects, higher worker skill, and a level 2 in gardening, which obviously means that he plants faster, and whatever he plants grows a little faster. It's just a few seconds, but you are going to feel it when you're in a hurry. And I would like to show you what other types of hirelings we can get, but I can't actually get to that while this guy is here, so in a bit. And last, but certainly not least, let's talk about alchemy. I know this is mostly what we talk about, given the nature of the game, but rehearsing the basics is what we're doing right now. So, a lot of the stuff you have has the ingredient quality, and most of them can go into the pot, and a lot of them can be further processed. Right now we only have a mortar and an alembic. The mortar grinds them down. That makes them lose strength in their pillars, but sometimes gain different qualities, and the Alembic brews two of the same ingredient together into some distillation that is stronger, and sometimes with different qualities. You brew potions in the pot. You can either use a recipe, which every potion has one designated to it, it's just a matter of finding it, or you can try to make some up yourself. Of course, you can only find valid combinations that way. Making it with a recipe is the easiest. You just drop the recipe in. It grabs you the ingredients, exactly what it needs, and then you have it brewed. If you want to make it yourself, that's still not too bad, but a tiny bit trickier. You see, when you click on the recipe and you see the ingredients in the description, the very first one is always the foundation, and that is what you need to start with when you're manually making it. And I didn't really fully get it before I started getting more ingredients. It doesn't actually matter by name what you use, but rather the type and the strength of the pillar of it. So, if you look at the pain potion, even though it asks for Heracleum juice, you can just as easily start with nettle pulp, and it needs an animal corpse and another Heracleum, and as you can see, I can freely change it, and either one works perfectly well. Not gonna make this one actually, but you get the idea here. And that should be the basics covered. I think I didn't leave anything out. Now, let's concentrate on the big stuff now. We are going to pretend that it's college on a Thursday night. So here it goes. And finally, here we are. This should be the one that takes us over the threshold. And boom, we are now a Meister. Oh, this time we gained a bunch of other things. Let's see. Recipe for Albedo requires a river in a bottle, potion of liquid fire, and an ointment of solid stone. So, sounds like level 2 potions all around. Okay. Blueprint. Transmutation circle of a curse. Ooh, now we're getting into esoterics. That's what I'm talking about. You dream the blueprint for conjuring Transmutation Circle of a Curse. It is quite different from regular blueprints, and some materials are for you to improvise with. It will require 1 plot of land, 1 animal corpse, 2 levels of influence, 2 levels of knowledge, and 1 artifact. Beware, the sacrificed artifact will be lost forever. The expansion of the alchemist's binding power, which allows summoning more creatures, only happens on the first instance of conjuring a new circle. There is no point in building another one unless you lost the previous one in some catastrophic event. Ritual, Spirit of Adventure. To summon a Spirit of Adventure, you need to prepare Song Alchemical Core. Grab Ritual Alchemical Core and conjure it with Grand Plantain, Death Sand, Gossip, Amber Resin, Heracleum Blossom Juice. When this is done, use this core and add Repair Potion, Hemp Fibers, Warm Sun. Spirits are the alchemist's first step in the practice of curse transmutation. They will mindlessly perform their tasks until dismissed. They can fetch water, grow simple plants, or explore the city streets or forest edge. Their efficiency depends on their void, pain, and song respectively, so try to use the most powerful alchemical cores to make them work faster. Ooh, interesting. So with this, sounds like we'll be able to summon basically hirelings, but for limited task capacity. Okay. Wouldn't say no to something that can endlessly give me some water from the river. We have the ritual for an alchemical core. To create an alchemical core, perform this ritual within the transmutation circle. Place 5 entities on the 5 spikes of the pentagram, each dominated by one of the corresponding pillars. The strongest pillar among them must clearly stand out, being at least twice as strong as the weakest, so that the core may crystallize around it. The core will gain the full power of the crystallizing pillar, plus half the power of all the others. The more complex the transmutation circle becomes, the more intricate entities you will be able to sacrifice there. At first you will use ingredient, later potion, and who knows what may follow. Interesting. So we do this first, and then summon a spirit. And for this particular one, we need a core with song. I get you. And finally, one deception. Okay. Oh, fancy effects. And so if I understand this whole ascension business correctly, and since we are here, that is technically the point from which we're growing, and not this lower one. So even if I were to make an Igredo potion with, let's see, Veil Ascension, I'm not going to be able to get here and then continue growing from this point. It has to be here. At least that's how I'm interpreting this at this very moment. I might make one off screen, just to be sure. Okay, so at this very point, it becomes imperative to upgrade our craft room, which I suppose we can only get by getting a blueprint, which would be here. Okay, for that we need to send someone in here. Mirror and Void. You're the one who holds the artifact that gives mirror, so I want to have that back. Tell you what, once you're gone, I'm going to browse the Adventurer's Guild to see what help we can scrounge up. Okay, so I checked, and even though this transmutation circle is a level 2 blueprint, it does not actually have any bearing on our ability to make it, so I'm just gonna plop these down. And we do happen to have level 2 influence and knowledge, and now we need to sacrifice one artifact. And I was thinking this pocket knife is not gonna do much for us as long as we have this, so in you go. I really hope we're gonna find somehow, sometime, some way of making more artifacts. I don't like the idea of these being limited. Maybe that's just a Cultist Simulator player in me talking. I do like hoarding my artifacts. Oh, and it works pretty fast too. Let's see what comes out of this. Oh, wow. Looks pretty dope. There are more curses in this world than anything else. These are beings whose names people use as curses, and only a few of them are truly fearsome. Their power ranges from small forest spirits that can do little more than chatter in the branches, to creatures far more menacing. Some scholars even count towering tree giants and small dragons among the ranks of curses. With this circle begins the alchemist's path of transmuting life itself. To perform any work upon it, you will need a ritual, and for nearly every ritual, the first step will be the creation of an alchemical core. Rituals are uncovered by the alchemist through introspection, gazing into the great tree of life that grows through the souls of all beings. They are never as precise as true alchemical recipes, but through experimentation, far more unexpected results may be achieved. Dare to try. Okay. Consider me intrigued. So now we have yet another thing to play around with. And we cannot get anywhere without doing this alchemical core. Let's make a test run of it. Okay, so we need at this level an ingredient for every type. Do I even have that? As a matter of fact, I do. So let's start doing that. So the strongest one needs to be at least double the strength of the others. Well, I do have this level 4. Not sure what I would use it otherwise. Okay, let's try it. That should, at the end, give us a void core, if I'm reading everything correctly. And half of the others. So at least level 2 in others. So it's song. That's an amber. And this looks good enough. Let's see. Ooh, these rituals are really fast. I like them. And so we have an alchemical core that gained a level 4 in Void. 1 pane, 1 veil, and 1 mirror, which was the half of all the others. And a 2 in song for some weird reason. Alright, I'll take it. Transmutation is an act of unmaking and remaking, and the alchemical core stands at the very heart of this process. The power of the pillars, torn from various objects, separated but not yet joined anew, is sealed with a radiant, vibrating crystal, awaiting its use in further reactions. Okay, we now have something more to play with. But this ritual is level 2, I wonder if we can. Okay, so the level of the ritual doesn't matter, like the schematics mean for the workplace, okay. And the only one we have here, Spirit of Adventure, needs a song core. I think we got this. because we upgraded to a Meister. If we were to go the other ways, we would have gotten something else, I'm guessing. Okay, all the other stuff I can get relatively easily. So the important thing here is that I'm gonna need some ingredient with a 4 in song. And I do have just the thing in mind, but that's gonna have to wait for another time. I think the last thing I want to do today is actually wait out this adventurer's timer and then see what I can grab from the adventurer's guild. So let's wait around for that. Oh, hello neighbor. Wait, is it just me? Or are you also slowly getting stronger? I don't remember you having 9 in Vale. Huh. And it is also strange and maybe slightly distressing that you have more levels in human than I do. Another peasant breakfast. I never say no to free food. And you are soon timing out. Let's wait for that. You see, you have a small window when you can give them payment again. Okay, you're leaving, giving my artifact back. Which means that I can finally see what I'm able to get here. So 1 bronze gives a regular adventurer. One silver gives a peasant. Okay. I wish you could just start piling bronze here indefinitely, but oh well. So this is still peasant's pay. Okay, now 2 silvers would give us a student. The need to pay her tuition makes her very proactive. Yeah, that is the curse students are carrying. Oh, 3 silver gives you a Landsknecht. Okay, you know what? Let's actually get a student, because I haven't seen it yet. Let's see what it's all about. Let's put you here. Oh, I did not invite you. What are you doing here? Exactly after I spend a lot of money, huh? Impeccable timing, sir. The tax collector expects a portion of your coin for the benefit of the crown, in exchange for protection and peace of mind. Chiefly, protection from what the crown itself will do should you fail to pay. A small consolation. Your exculpation will rise slightly, for the king is less inclined to behead those who pay their dues. And that means what actually? I can see a tax rate of 3 here. Does that mean that 3 bronze is my tax? Apparently so. This should be enough, though you can always add more to show what a good citizen you are. Yeah, no. Not gonna do that. Ah, always a pleasure doing business with diligent subjects like yourself. The kingdom thrives on proper contributions, you see. as does His Majesty's generosity. Speaking of which, fortune smiles upon you today. The Royal Court has seen fit to grant you an official commission. A rare opportunity, my friend. Not everyone gets to serve the crown so directly. Okay, so you also give a quest. Okay. And if we're able to do it fast, we might just be in time to give it to the Inquisitor and thereby keep the money rolling. So this one only calls for a connective and a repair potion. And I do actually have both of these. Ha! Let's make it quickly. Now, let's take a look at you. An eager acolyte of knowledge, their curious eyes and quick mind are their greatest assets, making up for what they lack in experience with raw potential. I see. And you are a level 5 hireling? The way I've been looking at this is actually the value of a single bronze for their time. So you had the basic adventurer, which was level 1, and so 1 bronze would buy them for the full duration. And with this peasant being level 3, giving them 1 bronze would get you 150 seconds instead of the 450 that an adventurer would give. So I kinda see it like you take the 450 seconds, and then divide it by the level of hireling. And that is how much time you get for a single bronze. So you don't have to always pay them the full amount. You just always, just a little bit. So with a level 5, a single bronze should be like 90 seconds of time for a student. And this one has librarian tag and a whole bunch of veil. Okay, you do have mirror and a tiny bit of song. This expedition needs mirror and void. You do have a single point in void, which is not ideal. Okay, I can probably give you something to raise your mirror and maybe hope for the best. Probably try to offset whatever challenge we get with a potion. Yeah, I can probably deal with that. Let's get this done. Wonderful. Oh, wait. This is a warm sun. That is mighty convenient. If I had a song core, okay then. Well, I think this is all the time I have for you today. I have successfully ascended 1 step on the long road. There's still a whole bunch waiting for us. And if the potions keep jumping in complexity quite like this, then it's a long road ahead of us for sure. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Please consider giving the video a like if you like the way I structured this one, and I shall return shortly. But until then, practice safe alchemy and good brewing.